Excellent. Welcome back. Hopefully you're all still there, still waiting as excitedly as I am. I love this part of the agenda. We're going to be talking to 3 SMMEs from different parts of the world, organizations that have been employing Earth observation solutions in their businesses and doing it very innovatively, solving public sector and private sector challenges. The first up is from East Africa, from Kenya, Astral Aerial Solutions, and representing Astral Aerial Solutions will be Julie Makena. Julie, welcome. Hi, Julie.
Thank you very much, Kamal.
It's my absolute pleasure.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, thank you. I think the audience is waiting to hear more about Astral, so I'm going to disappear and leave the floor to you. All the best. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Julie Makena from Astral Aerial Solutions. Astral is a Kenyan drone operator and drone services provider. We were founded in 2016, and we offer several services using drone technology, which include agricultural services, transportation of cargo, as well as environmental and wildlife conservation. Some of the awards that we've been able to gain since our founding are the IATA Air Cargo Innovation Award for our UAV traffic management system, as well as the Airbus Africa for Future. Sorry, can you hear me? As well as the Airbus Africa for Future Challenge, where we were named as one of the top 10 most promising startups in Africa. We also won the Disruptive Agricultural Technology by World Bank in 2019 under the Data Analytics and Agricultural Intelligence cohort, where we've been able to map up to 2,500 farmers and are set to map up to 5,000 farmers by the end of this year. Our pillars include commercial operations using drone technology. We have so far obtained regulatory approval for our commercial drone operations, as well as ARPA's training. So we realized that there was a huge gap in capacity to implement drone technology in the country, as well as in East Africa as a whole. And so we took it upon ourselves to set up a drone training academy where we offer training as well as pilot licensing. And in addition to that, we have industry customized training courses, as well as the other training, as well as other pillars shown. We have strategic affiliations with different organizations. We have partnerships with drone manufacturers, with drone training service providers, as well as drone operations management software platforms. So the bulk of experience has been in agricultural services, and that's what I'm going to delve deeper into. So some quick statistical information. Did you know that 40% of farms in Africa, the average farm in Africa operates at 40% of its potential, while there is a potential increase in profit of between 7.1% to 76.3% if we implement digital agricultural technologies in our farming practices in Kenya. So the problem that we have identified is that there's a lack of adequate up-to-date data that can be used to drive decision-making in our farming processes. And the solution that we propose is the use of drone technology to assess the performance of the farms, as well as the use of drone technology in implementing precision technology to mitigate any issues that have been identified on the farms. Our agri-services are divided into two. There's the crop inspection, where we fly our drones over the farm, collect multiple images, stitch the images together to come up with different kinds of maps for different purposes, as well as use of drone technology for spraying of the particular locations that have been found to have issues on farms. So some of the mapping products that we have are the basic orthomosaic map. And this is like, you can picture it's similar to a Google map, but at a higher level of detail, up to 3 centimeters per pixel resolution. And these maps, we've been able to use them to assess the land utilization, especially for small scale farmers, as well as looking at the different kinds of infrastructure around the farms. We have survey grade maps as well, which are similar to the orthomosaic maps, but these are geo-referenced and connected to the Kenyan Geodetic Network. And these can be used for boundary management. We have actually done a project with the Kenya Surveys organization, and it can also be used for land titling management. In addition to that, we have multispectral maps, and these maps they indicate the health of the farm performance, showing the exact areas where you have issues on the farm, and the specific locations that require any kind of mitigating actions. So this is an example of a crop inspection activity that we undertook in Kericho County. So what you can see in green indicates areas of where we have healthy crops, and the areas that are in red are areas that have poor health. For example, they are infested by pests and disease, or they are affected by weed pressure. So we were able to carry this out for a farm in Kericho County, Kenya. This is another case study. This was for a farm in Trans Nzoia County, and it was a maize farm. Again, we have the crop health map, and as you can see, there's that area in red indicated. And for this one, they were not so sure what was causing a difference in yield in different sections of the farm. But what we found was that once we carried out the mapping, we realized that this area in red had an issue with water logging. And so we were able to identify that. The next one, this was for a company called Twiga Foods, and it was for a farm in Kiambu County. We were able to create an orthomosaic map as well as an NDVI map. And for this farm, it was for a banana plantation. We were able to carry out a crop counting exercise where we were able to identify the plants that were developing well, as well as identify plants that were not developing well, just a short period after the planting season had taken place. And so they were able to replace the crops that were not developing well, and hence improve the yield that they were going to get from the farm. Additional value, this was for another farm in Naivasha County. It was for a flower farm, and they had asked us to map the greenhouse structures and identify structures that had the greenhouse structures that had issues. So we were able to detect cracks that were up to 1 centimeter long with the maps that we produced. So another value add with this, with our maps, is that they are digital farm records. So, and you can be able to share them across different platforms. Regardless of whether you have a laptop or a smartphone, you can be able to share this data. On the crop spraying side, this is our crop spraying drone, the DJI T16. And so upon, once we've done the mapping exercise and identified the locations that have issues, then with the crop spraying drones, you can come and spray the exact amount of pesticide that's required to mitigate those issues. And this is an example of a crop spraying exercise that we carried out in Ethiopia for the control of locusts, which is a huge problem in East Africa at the moment. So we also offer training, especially for manual sprayers. We offer training in use of drone technology for spraying. The drone platforms that we use are the SenseFly EB drone, and this drone can be able to map up to 250 acres in a single flight. So in a single day, we can cover up to 1,500 acres. And this drone can be able to carry both the RGB camera for the production of orthomosaic maps, as well as the Parrot Sequoia, which produces the multispectral maps by measuring the chlorophyll reflectance from the crops. Our crop spraying drone is the DJI T16 that can cover up to 10 hectares in a single flight. So our key differentiators is we have the experience. As I've said, we've mapped over 2,500 farmers so far, And we also have the only registered agricultural drones in the country at the moment. Excuse me. Our competitive landscape is that we have experienced drone pilots, and we also have a flexible aircraft fleet. As I've mentioned, we've partnered with different drone manufacturers, and we have different drones for carrying out different drone applications. We are asking for $50,000 in grant funding to enable us to support our service demonstration exercises, because farmers do not quite understand the value of this technology to them. And so we have to do a lot of these service demonstrations to enable them to understand. And in addition to that, we also want to hire and train 2 GIS agricultural specialists, because we are drone operators and we need someone to bridge the gap between the data that we collect and the interpretation of this information to farmers to create value for the farmers. We are also interested in any mentorship opportunities that are available for the scaling up of this technology. And lastly, we are interested in creating an online platform for where we can be able to safely and securely share the maps that we produce with our clients, and also understand how they interact with the maps that we produce. So why Astral Aerial? We have an end-to-end solution to drone implementation. So we have the crew, we have the trained crew, we have our drones are insured, we have regulatory approvals, we also have the organizational structures for drone implementation, which is a requirement, which are regulatory requirements. So we have the safety and security systems, we have the drones, and we also offer training. So our partnerships, as I've mentioned, we have partnered with World Bank, we have partnered with the Ethiopian Airlines, as well as Panocal, which is a huge large-scale farm in Kenya. And our team is composed of young aviation professionals, and we are very passionate about the scaling up of drone technology in Africa. So that's my time, that's my presentation. Thank you so much, Kamal, for this opportunity, and GeoWeek for this forum. And I'd like to invite any questions or comments on my presentation. Thank you.
That was incredibly comprehensive. Thank you so much for that. I love the partnership ecosystem that you've built. I can see that you're very focused on a particular sector. A question there is what would be the plan, or if any, to move outside of agriculture, given the demands for this type of remote sensing, if you want, localized remote sensing? Is there other sectors you'd look at in Africa that would be equally relevant?
Yes, so I've mentioned that we offered several drone services. The main focus of this presentation was in agriculture, because that's where we have a bulk of experience, but we also do cargo transportation with drones. We have partnered with Singular Aircraft to bring in the Flyox drone for large-scale cargo deliveries. So the drone has a maximum payload of 2 tons and can be able to carry out humanitarian response deliveries as well as medical supplies. We've also partnered with Wingcopter for a delivery of temperature-controlled medical supplies, and we are in the process of getting approvals to begin the implementation of of the Wingcopter drone to carry out our own medical deliveries. So we are also into infrastructural inspections as well. We are the authorized dealer for DJI in East Africa for both their consumer drones and their enterprise drones. So we are into carrying out infrastructural inspections using drone technology. So those are just a few of the different sectors that are in using drones, but the main focus of this presentation was in agriculture.
Excellent. No, that's good context. Thank you very much. Well, Julie, there's over 100 people that have tuned in to listen to this. Let us hope that they've looked at your 3 requests for mentorship, funding, and so forth. So all the very best in growing Astral beyond even your wildest expectations. All the best. Excellent. That was a good start, a great start. Our second SMME for today comes from Italy, Latitudo 40. And joining us from Latitudo 40 is Gaetano Volpe. Gaetano, you with us? There you go. Welcome, sir.
Yes. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here with NGO Week. Okay.
Excellent. So the floor is yours. Take us through your amazing organization. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay, good afternoon. I started my presentation just with this slide. So today we ask Alexa, how is the weather tomorrow? Our vision is tomorrow to ask to Latitudo where is the best place to live. This is our vision. So Latitudo 40 is a company founded by 4 experts in the space sector. We worked in the last 20 years with different rules and different experience in the space sector, mainly in the Earth observation and telecommunication. And we created a team of 8 young guys that help us in this vision. What is the problem? We address the problem of the smart city. So we live in a connected place, and smart cities need complex system for data collection. First of all, because there are very large areas to be monitored. The data availability and data consistency is a problem. And the second point is that it's not easy to hire a data scientist and to create a digital twin. So we, with Latitude 40, will have the mission to solve this problem with a unified data analytics platform and using the 3 pillars. First pillar is satellite images. The second one is artificial intelligence as a service. And the third pillar is our dashboards that offer a very good vision of what happened in the past and what is the forecast for the future. At the moment, we have different sectors, but for this particular version of the product named Urbalytics, we address 2 markets and 1 kind of user. First of all, the municipalities to support the planning, urban planning, and the investment planning. On the other sector, we support real estate to identify a new way to analyze investment strategy, when invest in a city and when disinvest from this city. Clear, all these data are very useful for citizens, so they can have a transparency relationship with the municipality, but they can also be aware of the problem of the city in terms of climate change and resiliency. I go just to our vision of platform, I jump. So our platform is a completely cloud and totally automated. So the target of our platform are not space users, because we know that using satellite remote sensing is not easy. This is one of the barriers in the adoption of the sector. So we collect data from different sources: satellite, drone, IoT data source, and demographic data. And to do this, we use the context broker, that is one of the open solutions of the European Commission that help us to create this data lake. Then we have different artificial intelligence blocks. We can combine these blocks and create an unlimited number of solutions. So the customer can create its own solution, because each customer is different from the other. And the logic is that our customer don't need to have knowledge about remote sensing, artificial intelligence cloud, but need to know the problem to monitor. We worked for this in a very simple customer journey. Our vision is to become the WordPress or the Shopify for the Earth observation. So everyone can use Earth observation data to understand the planet. Now, only a small part of the citizen can do this. And the final is that we produce really understandable information in dashboards and in a mobile app. So this mobile app could be used by citizens to plan green routes, or route without pollution, or route with highest thermal comfort. With this understandable information, we can answer to different questions. So how to optimize green areas in the town? What are the areas with great health risk? Or how can the municipality can improve the quality of life? The same on the other side, the citizen can do the same. This is a couple of examples. This is a work that we done in Naples for a post-COVID support. We mixed 3 layers. So one is a high precision temperature map using Sentinel-2. That is an algorithm that we produce in our R&D department. the green area and the pollution level using Sentinel-2 and Sentinel-5P, and the demographic map of the city provided by the city. And we created a risk area where people with chronic disease or elderly are at major risk. So the other example is for real estate, and we are working with an investment company that is renewed an old factory in this small city close Milan. And now with our work, they are analyzing the impact, like a digital twin, and the impact of this project in the city, in the whole city. We are on the market. We started our operation in 2017. Last year, we collected 350,000 euro in revenues. We have a plan to reach 400,000 euro. We have different customers in different sectors, but in this moment, with the Green Deal and with the pushing to a more resilient and sustainable city, we are concentrating our investment in the urban mobility sector. For this, we created a partnership. So we have different partners in smart cities. So the Italian cluster for smart cities, the Polis, that is a European network of cities for mobility. Kubernetes is a software factory, software integrator for municipalities, and we are the winner of CIF Digital Innovation Challenge. And next week we probably will have the good results. We can have the first place in this competition. At the moment, we presented the solution to more than 50 cities, and we received the letter of interest from 10 cities in Europe to start our service in the 2021. So this is the future, sorry. So at the moment, we are here also to create a partnership, to have cooperation and collaboration outside Europe, but also if there are some investors that believe in our project, we are in this moment raising money for a second round of investment. Thank you very much.
Tana, thank you. I really enjoyed that, and I think the topics of conversation around smart cities and urban planning and so forth are relevant all across the world. So I think you're quite right. Hopefully there are both partners and investors listening to you at the moment. So just a question related to partners. You know, I think there's, because of the global relevance of the questions you're trying to answer in Italy or have answered in Italy, how would you partner with other SMMEs across the world? Is the solution in some form of templated version? How would you go about maturing those partnerships?
Yes, we believe in partnership model and partnership approach to the market. It's clear that we are in Italy, that is very far from the center of Europe, and this is more far than the rest of the world. So we cannot reach any countries in the world. So our idea is to create local partnership with the company that have a business model similar to us, in particular GIS companies, drone companies, or system integrator for smart cities project. And we validated this approach with a partner that we have now in Russia. And we are starting 2 new partnerships, one in Brazil and one in India. So we are very open to the partnership and also for the white label model. Our solution can be integrated because it's totally integrated in other, integrable in other solution, or can be offered to the market in with a white label approach.
Fantastic. So a partner from another part of the world could white label your product, act as a representative, and even localize it if needs be. That is excellent. And the type of skills in your business, you're touching remote sensing, you're touching town planning, you're touching so many topics. What type of people do you have in your organization?
This is probably the most difficult part of our startup generation, because I have not technical background. I am the CEO of a company. I have a business background, but the other founder are computer engineers, so they have several experience. But we have now a multidisciplinary team, because we have 2 GIS experts and 2 machine learning data scientists. So the logic is that to create a big company is necessary to create a mixing of competencies, so like a T experience, so large and deep. And we are, at the moment, we would like to expand our team. So the funding that we can, we received already a small investment from Italian government, but with the larger investment, we can enlarge our team and open also outside abroad branches.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking the time to share your business and your strategy and your ideas with us. I really hope you're going to make some good connects as a result of doing that. So all the very best. Thank you, Gaetano.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Okay. Excellent. That was equally exciting. And now our third candidate comes from Canada. Someone also a very early riser, clearly. PCI Geomatics is going to be introduced to us by Kevin Jones. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you.
Very good. So I'm going to be disappearing again and then leaving you to the 100 or so people that are watching you. So enjoy the moment.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction. So I'd like to say hello to everyone and welcome to this presentation. So my name is Kevin Jones, and I'm responsible for product and marketing at PCI Geomatics. And I'd like to introduce to you Catalyst, which is a new brand that we have just launched within the last week. We actually did our unveiling on Thursday of last week. So PCI Geomatics has introduced Catalyst. And one of the things I want to talk to you about today is how we've used our Catalyst Enterprise solution to produce analysis-ready data for SANZA, which is the South African Space Agency company or an organization that we've been working with for some time now. So I just want to quickly, oops, hopefully I didn't go too fast. Okay, so I want to quickly introduce the change that we have introduced to our company. So PCI Geomatics, those of you who know us, we have been present within the geo community for some time now, roughly 2.5, 3 years. Last year, we actually became a Geo Associate member during the plenary that was announced. We were one of the first industrial companies that was welcomed into the Geo community as an associate member, and we're very proud of that. And we bring a lot of technology as it relates to Geo and Geo's mandate, because we do process satellite imagery stretching back through many, many years. And actually the project that we will be showcasing with SANZA is using deep temporal archives that span back over 20 or 30 years, which really helps to address some of these sustainable development goals as it relates to really fulfilling Geo's mandate, to understand how the Earth has changed over decades. So we have technology for helping with that, and I'll be talking about that. But before I do that, I just want to play a quick video. So I'm going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that the audio comes through. I think it will. And just play a 1-minute video.
Earth data is collected on a daily basis to manage projects, resources, and to better understand how the Earth is changing. Data collected from the ground, space, and across time can reveal new insights. We see the integration of multi-sector Big Earth data to gain new insights as one of today's biggest challenges. What if we could bring technologies together and put it into the hands of decision makers, providing the ability to look back in time and into the future? We could make a difference and ensure we leave the Earth a better place. It's time to change how we manage our planet for future generations. Catalyst. Earth data simplified.
So with that introduction of Catalyst.Earth and the new branding, I'd like to summarize a project that is 100% aligned with this new mission and our new brand. And it's a project that we've been doing with the South African Space Agency that is really focused on bringing that information that was described in that video to end users in a much easier to consume way. SANZA has been operating and collecting imagery from different satellites for many, many decades. One of the particular satellites that they have a proud heritage of collecting is SPOT, which is a French satellite, European satellite. And most of the data is not necessarily readily available. And kind of to Gaetano's presentation, we see bringing this information to end users as a critical mission and a critical goal to really inform decision-making going forward as it relates to managing our planet. And so before we can bring that technology into the hands of policymakers and decision makers, we need to refine the data and make it available for analysis. And that's what analysis-ready data processing entails, is essentially to pre-process the data, to put it into a structure that it can be used for analysis. In this case, the Open Data Cube, which is technology that's being used within SANZA to basically take all of these measurements over decades to inform decision-making. So certain algorithms can be executed on the temporal data. And one of them is listed here, which is water observation from space. But there are many algorithms that can drill through that time series data and reveal new information that wasn't necessarily in the original goal or purpose of collecting that imagery. But now if we can stack all of this data over time, we can actually produce information that is quite important for decision making. So in the case of SANZA, they have collected, as I mentioned, many images from SPOT on the order of 1 million images. And the need is to basically put those into a data cube so that analysis can be performed and ultimately to make it available to policymakers. What we did is we used our Catalyst Enterprise system, which is formerly known as GXL, to process SPOT 1 through 7. So there's quite a heritage of SPOT imagery that's been collected over multiple decades. And really to bring that data to a level that is standardized. So in this particular case, we are working to produce the data, analysis-ready data, and follow the CARD4L, which is the CEOS analysis-ready data for land standard that's been established through the CEOS partners worldwide. And really the benefit, as I've mentioned already, is to expose that high-quality data to more end users. And I have a little animation that's coming up on the screen here. This is actually showing the data that we've pre-processed to then analyze it. And what you're seeing is the natural color images that span a certain time period on the left. We have roughly 20 or 30 years of data that we can traverse through at much higher resolution that is available through other platforms like, there are some other platforms out there like Google Earth Engine that mainly make use of Landsat at 30 meters. But this is SPOT data that's available down to 5 meters or 10 meters, much higher resolution, and also higher temporal frequency than what is available through the sort of the standard coverages from USGS and Sentinel. And what you see is basically the evolution of water in a basin. And this is important information as it relates to policy making in terms of managing water resources going forward, informing decisions in the future based on events of the past. This is a piece of information that can be used by policymakers to make better decisions. And it's one example. So what I want to do now is I want to just kind of walk you through our product offering. So Catalyst offers many different products. The first one on the left is our services. So essentially, for those of you who know our company, PCI Geomatics, we currently offer, or our products are Geomatica and GXL. So it's a desktop and an enterprise service. And those are our legacy or our existing products that we have. Those are known today as professional and enterprise. But what we're really excited is about how we're repackaging our existing science, which has been developed over decades, to make it available for more end users. And the way that we do that is we take our algorithms, we have hundreds of algorithms available, and we expose them through a services architecture that can then be built as an OEM product together with other solutions, or we can actually expose it as a very easy to consume web-based information. And I have a few examples that I want to show you. I'm going to share my screen. I'll wait for someone to let me share my screen, and if you can let me know when that works. But I do have an example of a, there we go. So I'm just going to share that screen, and I'm going to bring this over here. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is actually a time series data set that spans 30 years over an area in Canada. This is over Toronto. And what you see is the conversion of land from agriculture and forestry to residential and commercial. You can see the green polygons over on the right here are switching from light greens and dark greens to reds and oranges. And that's the conversion of the land from forest and agriculture to residential and commercial. And that has a direct impact in terms of the carbon sequestration. So how much carbon is actually being stored by the land in this case, or the lack of carbon, basically what's the loss of the ability to store carbon because of the conversion of the land. And so what we can do with this time series data is we can simplify the information. You can see here, we don't see any satellite imagery. We just show a background image, and we show the information that is extracted from the time series data in a simple to use dashboard. This information can be seen visually, but it can also be exported out to another platform to understand and model the conversion of the land over time to better understand what the changes have been and how they've occurred. I also have a live demonstration here using our Catalyst Insight. So this is basically taking our algorithms and packaging a solution, in this case, for monitoring deformation at the city level, or at the street level within a city. And what you basically see on the screen right now is multiple dates where we have measured the deformation on the ground to see how things are moving up and down. So, and that's very, very important for critical infrastructure. If there's too much movement toward downward pressure on the ground, that can cause critical failures to infrastructure. So I can actually, you can see that we've distilled all of the space-based information into an easy to consume layer. And I can zoom in at the street level, and I can turn on the detailed information. And then I can inform more of a policymaker end user as to what is happening on the ground, and take remedial action for this particular situation. So here what I'm doing is I'm basically turning on the space-based surveying points, and you can see that we've used satellite imagery to survey specific locations on the ground and measure how much movement has occurred over those locations. I can query any one of these points. I can get the displacement over time. You can see that it's moved down quite a bit, 48, 58 centimeters over the course of 2 years, and that has an impact on critical infrastructure. So what I've shown you is kind of two different information layers. One was the land use conversion information, and the other one was basically the critical infrastructure monitoring as it relates to urban areas. And really that's what Insights is all about, is taking our science that we've developed over multiple decades and make it available to more decision makers that can use this information. I'm just gonna go through a couple of slides here, and I'm just finishing up. So essentially this is just a high level architecture. We can address multiple problems. We can use Earth observation data. As you saw, we use space-based Earth observation as well as non-Earth observation data, process it to analysis ready data or pre-process it, and then derive analytics and distribute it through an easy to use interface like the one that I showed. And I'll just skip these slides and I'll go to my summary slide. So we can address multiple use cases, and we encourage you to visit our booth. We actually have a showcase set up through the Geo Week, and we'd be welcome to have a more detailed conversation. Check us out at catalyst.earth.
Excellent, Kevin. Thank you so very much for that. I have a question, just going back to the Sansa project, which you've executed effectively a Canadian firm working with an African organization. Let's forget that it's a space agency for a bit, over a very difficult period. Now, admittedly, some of the technology you use would have allowed some of the remote work that you've done. But are there some lessons you'd like to share with the other SMMEs of how you got that right? Because you've done incredibly well. That's such a great case study to have shared.
Yeah, I mean, just like everyone probably watching this event and myself presenting from my home, I think we've all adapted. We certainly faced some struggles because we had planned to go on site to give training and to do some capacity building directly with people from SANZA. We had to switch all of that to online delivery for our training. So, you know, lessons learned, I guess it's what everyone is doing is keep the communication going, you know, move to alternate ways of providing training or interacting, you know, just like what we're doing today. We switched to that very, very early with our partner SANZA, and it's been successful.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time, and thank you for those insights. We'll hopefully see you at the networking and the exhibitions as well. So thank you very much, Kevin. Very good. So I guess we're at the point now where there's a dedicated time for networking and visiting the exhibitions. You can see that if on the agenda. So the next session will kick off just after 5 o'clock South African time, and we will introduce you to the top 7 contestants in our Space Tech Innovation Challenge. Look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much.